What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Whiskey Cove. And on today's episode, we revisit the Reddit 5 Bourbon Challenge. So you only ever need 5 bourbons. So we are at Town and Country Liquor Store here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So let's go ahead and go on in and see what we can find on this exciting challenge. We are in the store here. It's a pretty decent sized store for the most part, and it is the biggest one in Wyoming. But before we start, I want to tell you a little bit about a quick giveaway, so run that tape. As we get closer to that 5,000 subscriber mark, where we will be doing the 5,000 subscriber free giveaway for you folks at home. 2 things you need to do if you would like to win one of these amazing 4 bottles, plus 2 more we'll be announcing soon. We have the Old Forester barrel strength single barrel. We have the Early Times bottled in bond, the old brown Foreman bottle. We have Willet 4-year rye, and then we also have Weller 107 OWA. If you would like one of these bottles, first you have to be a subscriber, and then secondly, go over to the Whiskey Cove's webpage, which you'll find the link down below in the description. Click that link, it'll take you over to our shop, and then you just click on this free giveaway, and then you just sign up for that. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to put any card details in, nothing like that. And then you just need to pay attention to when we do the 5,000 free subscriber giveaway live event, because we will announce all 6 winners there. Maybe some other stuff, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. So let's get these whiskey bottles out of the way. So let's remind ourselves exactly what we're looking for in the 5 Reddit challenge. We are looking for a daily sipper, a Friday night pour, a cocktail mixer, something to impress your guests, and then something special. We're going to be doing this with a $200 budget, so money's going to be tight, but I've seen a few good things so far, so let's go ahead and see what we've got. First up, we are looking for a daily drinker, something that's not too expensive, but something we can go back and forward to, and it tastes fantastic, and it's a little bit on the cheaper side as well. So Blade & Bow is a good choice, but that's a little bit too pricey at $50. Coming in at 45.5% alcohol by the Stitzelweiler Distillery in Louisville. Comes with these awesome keys as well, but just a little bit out of our price tag there. It also has some of the classics as well. We have Wild Turkey and Wild Turkey 101. I think that's accurately priced and something we can definitely go for $25. I was really hoping that they have this guy, the Buffalo Trace Single Barrel Picks. For 20, you limit to all the Buffalo Trace 1.75 liters. I don't actually think I know if these are the single barrel picks, but they do have them at Town and Country Liquor quite consistently. So I think what we're going to go for as a daily sipper is actually going to be the Wild Turkey 101 for $24.99. We've talked a lot about this on the channel. I won't talk too much about it, but for $24.99, that's an excellent daily sipper. So next up, when we need a Friday night pour, there's a lot of decent stuff here for the most part, and this would have definitely been nice, but they are all out to that. $84.99 might be a little bit pricey, but still would have been a pretty good bottle to get. Some of these Elijah Craig barrel picks they have here, they have a 9-year, and they also have a 10-year as well. And they also have the B523, and I was really hoping that was the C523, because I've been after that bottle for a while now. However, for a Friday night pour, I think what we're going to go with is this guy down here. We're going to do a double Wild Turkey here. These are a little bit sporadic to find in Colorado, and for that price, $49.89, I think that's phenomenal value for money. I haven't actually had one of these in the Whiskey Cove for a while, so I'm really happy that I was able to find this here in Wyoming. So $49.89 takes us up close to about $80 for 2 bottles. So it's quite expensive so far, and we don't want to be blowing our budget right away. So we really need to bring it back down to earth with a cheap and inexpensive mixer. And there's a few options here on the bottom shelf, but we want something a little bit better than that. So we're going to look around a little bit more and then see what we can find. We've been walking around quite a while now. We've seen some really nice bottles actually. Nothing so special just yet, but some solid bottles nonetheless. That's a shame that this one wasn't a little bit cheaper, the Jack Daniel's Bonded, as we are a big fan of that on the Whiskey Cove. But ultimately what we decided to go on was bringing this back home with Evan Williams bottled in bond for $19.79. We could have gone for the Old Forester 100, and if we have some change at the end, we might switch that up. However, we went for the Evan Williams bottled in bond, just a perfect mixer. So far we have about $50, $30, and $20. So all in all, about $100 spent on 3 bottles, and we just need those 2 more bottles left. Something to impress our guests and something that little bit special. So for 2 bottles for $100, it's going to be difficult, but we're going to try our best to be able to do that, and I do see a couple of ones here, so let's go check them out. Really digging Wyoming whiskey lately, and they've been bringing out some great juice as well. And they just released their National Parks batch number 3 straight bourbon whiskey, 52.5%. That is a little bit pricey. That's right on the money for how much it should cost, but for $74, that would absolutely blow our budget. There's a couple of other options down here, especially the TX blended whiskey is it's definitely a bottle to impress our guests. It's a Texas whiskey, and it's got a lot of good flavor to it, but I think we can do a little bit better than that. So ultimately, what we've ended on is this High West pick here. So if you know the Whiskey Cove, you know that I like High West stuff. And this is the American Prairie whiskey. The finish here is going to be the Oloroso Sherry. So why I'm picking this bottle is I think it's a really good talking point with some of the guests that you do have. I think you can talk to them about the process of the single barrel picks and the process of what High Wests like to do and the different types of barrels that they have. This is a 9-month finished Oloroso, coming in at 49.3% ABV. I think that's correct. So I think for $50, that's not too bad. So I think for the last bottle, which is something special, we have about $50 to play with. So let's take a little look and see what we can find here on the shelves. So far, just to recap, we've spent $30 on a daily drink at Wild Turkey 101. A Friday night pour was $50 with the rare breed, and very happy I found that. $20 for a cheap mixer, and then $50 for a bottle to impress our guests. And I'm not seeing a great deal of things here for something special for $50, but I'll keep looking here. We have some of the Jack Daniel's single barrel selects here. We also have this new edition, the 2XO Oak series, and I haven't tried them. That could be a special bottle. It's about $5 over budget, but you know, it's a pretty bottle right there, and it's a double oaked whiskey, the part of the Oak series. We also have the Heaven Hill Bonded 7-year. I don't know if that qualifies for just something special just yet. I know they have other areas with some other bourbons, so I'm just gonna have a little quick look around to see if I can find anything there as well. Stumbled upon this rye. Yes, it doesn't count towards the bourbon challenge that we're doing because it is a rye. $80. I've seen these Willet 4-year ryes just jump in price in the last year or two. I think that is expensive. I like to pay close to $50, but what I'm finding is that's just not obtainable right now. We also have these Town and Country picks. They have 3 different picks here actually. They have this Wyoming pick, which is just 10 Maker's Mark staves. Surely that's just the same as this regular Maker's Mark 46 because it's the 46 staves. They also have a Campfire blend, and they also have a Lakeshore blend, all coming in about $72, which is really good value for money. And those can be very special bottles. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and see if we can work that into the budget too much. But I'm just going to keep looking a little bit more here. Still been hunting for this special bottle, and I wasn't able to find anything so special just right now. But I've stumbled in the Canadian section, if you like, and I did find something. I've seen a lot of empty tags around here with some decent bottles like that Blanton's tag. Also a Woodford Reserve historic batch proof tag, but no bottle there. But we did stumble onto the Caribou Cross, and this is a bottle you don't see that often. I think there's like 6 or 7 back there, but the only problem is that it does come in at $100. And that's not a bottle that I particularly like anyway, so I wouldn't even buy it at $70, and I don't actually think it's a special bottle. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue hunting. Then there was one bottle here, slightly over budget, and I'm just going to take a good old-fashioned stab in the dark with this bottle. Because I don't know what it's like, but I know some of the juice coming out of this distillery has been talked about in quite high regard so far. And that is the bottle we saw earlier on. It's going to be the 2XO, 2 times Oak by Dixon Deadman. We've talked a little bit about some of this whiskey on the channel, and I think for $55.59 it might be a good gateway into some of this stuff, because they do normally come closer to $100. This is 46% alcohol and 92 proof. And like I said, it's part of the Oak series, the 2 times Oak, so it is like a toasted or double oaked bourbon. So I'm really excited that we got that, and hopefully you'll excuse me for going $5 over budget. So I'm going to rework these bottles, and then let's go through them here. So then first off, we went with the Daily Sip at Wild Turkey 101. Never fails you. A Friday night pour, the excellent Wild Turkey rare breed. and a bottle that we haven't got for a while. And then for a cheap and inexpensive mixer, we went with Old Faithful Evan Williams Bald and Bond, 100 proof, perfect in a cocktail, and it'll just never leave you high and dry. And then something to impress our guests, we went with American Bourbon by High West, and we went for the Oloroso finish for 9 months. A great bottle to talk to guests about what is a single barrel, what the process looks like, and just something very individual. And then for a special bottle, we took an absolute stab in the dark. We went with a 2XO 2 times oak by Dixon Deadman, the American double oaked. So I'm really excited to see what that's like, and I think for $55 that's pretty affordable and definitely worthy of buying that bottle. So this is what we're going to do and what we like to do. So our grand total comes to about $204. So hopefully you'll excuse me with those $4. But before we check out, we're just going to do a quick walkthrough of the store here, so you folks can get an idea of what it looks like in the whiskey section here. We are out, ladies and gentlemen. So we came up with a total of about $230 including tax. So we did go over about $205 proceeding tax. But usually I'm always under. This is the first time we've done a challenge that I've actually gone over by a couple of dollars. So I appreciate if you guys forgive me a little bit on that. Truth be told, I've been to this store a few times as I'm passing through in Wyoming, and I've been a little bit disappointed with it every time that I've come back. I feel like the prices have kept going up, and the allocation is just not as that good. Like you would consistently see Buffalo Trace single barrel picks here, and I've also actually got Russell's Reserve 13 from this store, which I'm not saying that they have to have all the time, but I think that more people are coming here, more people are spending money, and if people are spending money on your stuff and you keep on the prices up and people keep buying it, then you're going to keep on your prices up, because hey, that's capitalism at the end of the day, right? However, we have the whiskeys in the cart here. We're ready to get them in the car and start to take them home. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As we say on this channel, we drink through the Whiskey Coves one glass at a time. Cheers.